Hi, my name is Kelly and this is my sewing vlog where I like to share my monthly makes. This month I will cover some patterns I've been making from designers such as Helen's Closet, Style Arc, LB Textiles and BF Patterns. If you'd like to see what I've been up to this month and hear about my makes, please stick around. As usual, I do list my current measurements as well as any adjustments and sizing that I have made in the description box below. So if you are looking for more information, please check there. I'll also link the patterns that I've made as well, so you can go straight to the designers' sites and check them out. If you enjoy my sewing content, please give this video a thumbs up or a like, and consider subscribing. It really helps me to make connections with the sewing community, and I am definitely looking to meet some more people within that space. First up is the Nielsen Darling Ranges pattern. I do have some notes here that I'll refer to just when referencing sizes and any adjustments that I've made. UB is the style I've chosen to make this time round. It is up here behind me. I made a size 18 and graded out to a 20 at the waist. And I also shortened the length by about 5 centimeters or 2 inches. The fabric that I've used is cotton sateen. It was originally designed by Brooke Gosson, who is an Australian surface pattern designer. And it was actually left over in my stash from a previous make a few months back, which was the Style Arc Hope dress. So if you'd like to have a look at that, please refer back to my previous videos and you'll get all the details there. What I decided to do this time around was to use some vintage buttons that were sitting in my stash, even though I did purposely buy some buttons that would suit. In the moment when I was looking through my stash of buttons, I decided that these green vintage buttons would be perfect for this make. I'm also considering adding the elastic to the sleeve cuff. Currently, I'm a little bit unsure, so I think I need to give it a few wears and then decide whether or not I'll pop that elastic in. Overall though, I'm pretty pleased with this make. It's just a nice comfortable blouse that can be worn quite easily with jeans and tucked into high-waisted jeans or pants, which is exactly what I was going for. It is very versatile and it can be dressed up or it can be quite casual as well, depending on what fabric you make it out of. This month I made my 4th pair of bob woven pants. The pattern is from Style Arc. Now, if you've been watching any of my previous monthly makes videos, you'll see that I've been on a bit of a journey with these pants, trying to get the fit right for me. The Style Arc pants, if you're not familiar, are a barrel leg elastic waist pants with inseam pockets. They're quite popular within the Style Arc sewing community, and I've been really keen to give them a try because they look like quite comfortable pants, but also I'm embracing the barrel leg silhouette this year. I've not had any barrel leg pants before. I've not made any, not bought any. So it's a new silhouette for me that I really wanted to give a try. This time I made a size 14 and I graded out to an 18 at the waist, but only at the side seams. Everywhere else I still cut a straight size 14. The fabric that I used was cotton drill that was from my stash, and it had been in my stash for about 3 years, I think. I don't even remember what I originally bought that fabric for, but I've put it to good use now. This pattern is not very fabric hungry. I had 2 meters of this fabric, and once I cut the pants out, I still had about 50 centimeters left over. It is non-directional, which also meant that I didn't need to include any extra fabric there. The fit itself is better this time round, but it's still not perfect. Not that I've been striving for perfect, but once I put the pants on and I took photos of myself wearing them, I realized that the front rise still has some excess fabric that makes it look a little bit baggy. And so I would like to remove some of the fabric there, just pinching it out from the center rise seam, and see if that helps with the shape at the front. As for the rest though, I think the fit is pretty good. So with one more simple adjustment for my 5th version, hopefully that'll be it. Hopefully that'll be it for the bob pants, and all the time I've spent and also the fabric I've spent will be worth having worked this out fit-wise for me. I never usually persevere this much with pattern fitting and adjustments, mainly because it's always been a knowledge gap for me. I don't know a lot about pattern fitting or certain adjustments. I tend to Google it and see if I can figure it out, but I really only stick with what I think are fairly simple adjustments, which is why my knowledge in this area is not fantastic. But it's all part of the learning process when it comes to sewing, and that's, I guess, why I attempt new patterns. I want to understand more, and I want to challenge myself as well. And this has been a challenge, as much as it seems like a very simple pattern. It's an elastic waist pant. It has turned out to be quite challenging for me in different ways, and I have learned a lot, which has been really, really good. So yes, hopefully with number 5 of the Style Arc pants, I will nail that fit, and then I'll be able to make 5 more pairs that all fit me well. My next make is the top that I'm wearing now. It is the Helen's Closet Ashton top, and it's been quite a while since I have made the Ashton top. I have made a few different sizes over my time sewing. I've been sewing since 2017, and this pattern was the second pattern I bought from Helen's Closet fairly early on in my learning to sew days. I wanted to come back to sew this pattern because it is a simple top that comes together quite well, but it's really a nice style for showcasing a heavily printed or patterned fabric. This fabric is actually a repurposed dress. It's been sitting in my wardrobe for about 5 or 6 years is when I bought it, and it got a lot of wear at the time. It doesn't fit me and hasn't fitted me for quite a few years now, but I've still been holding on to it because I loved the fabric and the print so much. When I saw it in my wardrobe, I thought, now's the time. It's been sitting there for so long, I need to either donate it or repurpose it. And so I chose to repurpose it and make it into a top that I knew I'd get a lot more wear out of. So this is it's a crepe that has a slight stretch to it. And I've made a size 14 in a D cup. My measurements did put me in a bust 14 and a hip 16, but I knew from the style of the top, it is a very A-line shape, so it flares out towards the waist, and I knew with the ease built in that I wouldn't need to grade out. I do have the sleeve expansion as well, and I've made the standard short sleeves. I had just enough fabric to squeeze out some sleeves from the original dress. Lengthwise, I made the crop length, but I added 2.5 inches because the crop for me is a little too short for what I'm comfortable wearing. So I lengthened it, but I didn't want the full length shirt because there are 2 different length options. So by adding the 2.5 inches, I'm about halfway between the crop length and the full length. I found with this top that across the shoulders at the back, I could probably use a broad back adjustment. There's just a slight bit of tightness when I am reaching with my arms. So I have already redrafted the pattern pieces at the back and added a small broad back adjustment in preparation for my next Ashton top. I then went on a bit of a side quest. We had a family trip planned, just a day trip out to a zoo, which is a couple of hours drive away from where we live. And I knew walking around the zoo that we would all be able to use some good hats. That's something that's always been lacking, and I have considered making for myself for the past 3 years every time summer rolls around, but I have never actually gotten to it until now. So I found the Sorrento bucket hat pattern by LB Textiles. I actually already had it downloaded in my pattern stash. So I'm not sure. I think it might have been free with a newsletter sign up, or I might have purchased it. The pattern itself comes in, I think, 4 or 5 different sizes. It's quite versatile and just based on your head measurement. So I made 4 of the Sorrento bucket hats, 1 for myself, 2 for my kids, 1 for my husband. My husband and my kids have a fairly plain style. They go for plain colors, not any prints. One of my sons does like a bit of print, so I went vibrant and loud for him. Last month, I made him a BF Patterns Bestie bag. Check out the July video if you want to have a look at that. But I did have some leftover fabric that has duck prints all over it from this Bestie bag, and he was keen to have a matching hat. He got a bucket hat with ducks all over it. The inside was a repurposed denim from some jeans. And then my other son and my husband, I used some repurposed jeans and shorts and made them some black denim bucket hats. For myself, I used some fabric left over from a Pona jacket that I made last month. And for the internal lining, I used the leftover fabric from my bob pants up here. I also added some width to the brim of the hat for me. I extended it by 1 inch because I wanted a bit more coverage from the sun. And I included a chin strap as well because I didn't want this one blowing away in the breeze. So I added a little chin strap with a toggle as well to adjust it. That ended up being perfect on the day we went out to the zoo because it was incredibly windy. So my husband and my boys didn't actually wear the hats I made them. They would have blown off. But my hat was very, very secure with the chin strap. And I've got a few more planned as gifts. I've also had a few requests as well from family and friends. So there'll definitely be some more Sorrento bucket hats in my future. They sew up really, really quickly. They take minimal fabric. I think 35 centimeters of mane and lining is the requirement. So they really don't take up much fabric, possibly a little bit more if you're using a directional print. And they sew up really quickly. They're a good little make and a really practical, comfortable hat to wear as well. last make that I have made for August was another gift, and again I am revisiting my T&T pattern for gifting, which is the BF Patterns Bestie bag. This gift was for a friend's 40th birthday, and I have again repurposed some more jeans that have been sitting in my stash for a while for the main fabric. Then for the lining, I had some floral printed fabric that I thought would match the denim quite well. I also used a lot of hardware. I had some gold metal hardware, including a bag slider, clasps and D-rings, and I've used all that in this bag just to elevate the look, make it look a little bit fancy, and try something a little bit different. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out. For the strap, I used the long length, and I left out the interfacing because the denim itself was quite thick. The interfacing made it super, super thick and very stiff. So I ended up ripping it off the denim and just going without. The iron-on interfacing that I used was a heavy weight, and it's really helped the bag to hold its structure and shape. And overall, I'm really pleased with it, and my friend who I gifted it to really loved it as well. She's planning a trip overseas to Vietnam in the next month or two, and she's already planning on taking it with her on her travels. So I was very pleased to hear that it's going to be super practical and she'll get a lot of use out of it. So again, I've had a fairly productive sewing month in August. I have revisited some old favorites and also made something new, which is nice. So just recapping what I have made this month, I've made a Megan Nielsen Darling Ranges blouse, and that's in the green fabric behind me. I then made my fourth attempt at the Style Arc Patterns bob woven pants, and I'm finally pleased with the fit of these pants. So I'm really glad that I've persevered with the adjustments to this pattern. I've then repurposed a dress and made a beautiful Ashton top from Helen's Closet, which is going to get so much wear. And the new pattern that I tried this month was the Sorrento bucket hat, and there'll be more in my future as well, with it being such a quick make. And again, another pattern that's great for gifting if you know people's head sizes. So I made 4 of the Sorrento bucket hats, and I have 3 more planned already. The last make for August was another BF Patterns Bestie bag, which is my T&T or tried and true pattern for gifting. It's a very practical bag, and the versatility of the 2 sizes make it really practical for different purposes as well. In September, I'm not sure what my sewing plans are just yet, although I do have another pair of the Vacation Vibes Palazzo pants from Pattern Emporium cut out. They were sitting very patiently waiting for me to buy some matching thread, which I now have. So that is definitely on the cards for finishing off in September. Some more Sorrento bucket hats, and we'll see where I'm inspired. But definitely more and more sewing. Once again, thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope that you have enjoyed hearing about my monthly makes and what I've been up to. If you're a sewist and you are also keenly making lots and lots of things like I do, I'd love to hear about what you've been up to. Maybe you've got some T&T patterns that you like for gifting as well. I'd definitely be interested to hear what your T&Ts are. If you've tried any of the patterns that I have made this month, please let me know. I'd love to hear how that has gone for you and if you've got any fitting tips as well. As usual, I do include all the details on my makes, including my current measurements, in the details description box below. So have a look there if you're looking for any more information. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.